we're here. I have to say it's so very lovely to see all of you back in this press conference and to be again together after such difficult times that the world has gone through. And most of the industries, most of the people has really suffered, and now let's take this also as a gradual coming back to that normality that we have been dreaming for such a long time. But I think sometimes difficulties and challenges happen to create a reaction into the people that want to believe in their future, that want to do all their endeavors to plan the long-term future. And I think this is for sure what has happened in Outdoor Swan. We have taken this period to really work harder and with more determination than ever before in order to, on one side, to deliver what we were supposed to deliver, not miss basically one of the projects we had our owners waiting for, but also in creating the strategy and the direction and the organization to go towards the future. I think it's not because of us, it's not because of me, but we have stepped into one of the most prestigious brands that exist in the yachting world. And I think we always have felt a very deep responsibility to bring this brand and with the people that work there and with their visions, intuition, and hard work well into the future, and to always try to be leading the yachting industry. So I think this meeting is important for a number of things. Definitely because it will give us the opportunity to bring you up to date with the many exciting things that have happened in Outdoor Swan in these last years and the expectations that we have for the future. So I will leave it to the people that want to say a lot to you and to share some novelties and pleasant surprises. Thank you again for being here, and we'll catch up later on also on a personal basis after the conference. Thank you very much.
Giovanni? Hello. Thank you, Leonardo, and sorry to have pushed you for the introduction, but we knew about the traffic on the highway, and it was anyhow an opportunity to start with your message, and so we waited for that. And now we can go ahead with what is our press conference. So, a room full like this, I have to tell, after 3 years in NATO, is the first time that is so many people. I'm asking myself, looking at this, if it is a result of COVID, or if it is a result of the motor yacht, or let's see, the interest for our brand. So, thank you for coming. Now, Mariangela. Ah, fantastic. Okay, so, and here is my first message. I mean, we have one brand, and Leonardo Ferragamo spoke a little bit about the brand opening and the responsibility we feel for this brand. The brand today has 4 souls. In other words, I mean, we have 4 different types of owners to serve. But on the other side, these owners are all connected by one thing, that is the interest for the way on the sea, for the life on sea, for living this particular part of our world that is getting more and more important as a signal of natural sustainability and a way of living, a lifestyle. The 4 are the Swan line, up to 80 footers, the Maxi line that we have, where we have worked a lot in the last 2 years, renewing the line completely and launching 2 new products in the last 12 months. We have the Club Swan yacht that is racing, but as we will discover in the future, is not only racing, but is also race cruising, and let's say a different and more young way to go on the sea. and then there is the power. The last 2 years, 2020 and 2021, a lot of things happened at Nautor Swan, for sure in a different way. I mean, we had much less time to stay together in Florence, our headquarters, for example. We had, as in all other business, a lot of smart working, but despite this, we had really a lot of events going through, of activity in our company. I want to go through quickly together with you. We started last year in January with two big things, and that was just before the COVID, and it was the Innovation Award got on the Club Swan 36 in Düsseldorf, and the worldwide project unveiling of the Swan 58 in Düsseldorf. Then during the spring and summer, we launched we delivered the first 298, one of which you can see here in Cannes. We have found a new company that is a company fully dedicated to service and refitting of Nautor Swan yacht, and not only, putting together our experience in that business and the experience of this young team from Spain, Barcelona, and their yard. And now we have quite an important company serving all our owners. And then we had the launch of two maxi yacht projects that are getting to be a reality in next year. And one is Club Swan 80, a racing machine, but that is also aiming to give a part of cruising. I mean, it's possible when you are not racing to do also some cruising in a different way. So where the speed is getting a big importance, and the Swan 88 that we launched last year in December, and it will be the first hybrid sailing yacht from Nautor Swan. And in September we had the first Swan experience. The Swan experience has been organized. I mean, we were fully in the second wave of COVID, and we are not. We are not so crazy to do things and collecting people together because we don't respect the rules, etc. We organized it in a very paying a lot of attention. So no social event at all. A lot of checks before coming to where people are getting together, etc. And we had no one case of COVID coming out of that experience. We collected everybody at our home in Scarlino, and there we presented the Swan World, made of boat show, racing, refitting, broker engine charter. And that is 2020. 2021, I mean, I will not go through all of this, but 2021 is full of highlights and very important moments for us. We launched the project of the motor yacht in January, and the 58 in April hit the water in Spain, and we ran a lot of sea trials from that moment on, and at the moment we have 4 in the water. Then we have, as we had in 2020, launched a new company fully dedicated to service and refitting. We have had a new company this year that is fully dedicated to the racing world. I mean, racing is getting more and more specialized, so we felt the need to partner together with people that are expert in this, and we founded this company this year that is Club Swan Racing. We unveiled the project of the 108, and we have sold the first one of this. That is the second maxi, as I say, for cruising maxi. We sold, already said, the first hybrid of the 88, the worldwide premiere of the Shadow, and then came the summer period, and we restarted on a regular basis with all the regattas. And here, what is really important, we have our one design award for gentleman driver sailing regatta, but there is also the rating part. The rating part is where, I mean, you participate with your Swan to regatta where also others are participating, or the World of the Rendezvous. And here we have had the Sartigia Challenge, Sparkman and Steve Rendezvous in Elba. Then we had the Swan North European Regatta with more than 40 participants, has been a great success. Till the Fastnet with the Club Swan 125, that was again one of the big events of this year. And I mean, this is for us an incredible milestone. Because I mean, first of all, this yacht was had, as most of you know, a long production phase. But after the launch and 6 weeks of testing in Finland, sailing down to UK and then participating in the Fastnet and getting the line owners for us, I mean, and for the owner, has been really an incredible result that is testifying which is a level, I mean, of quality of innovations that we have put in this project. The market is strong. I mean, we have had for sure during 2020 a slowdown, as all the yards have had. But the good thing in this business is that you can have like a bridge, because you have a order portfolio that is keeping the pipeline full. So we can say that let's say after the big growth that we have had in 2019, then we have a stable turnover in 2020 and 2021. We have at the moment 6 new models that are in production: the 58, the 55, 88, 108, the Club Swan 80, and the Swan Shadow. We have delivered this year so far 26 yachts, of which 2 in the Maxi Swan range. We have the first is electric in production. On the motor yacht, we have delivered 3 and we started the serial production. So it means that Roy Capassos then will speak more in detail about this project, but his takeoff is not a pilot, but is real a serial production. And we have almost a full range in production at the moment. We have also just in spring, we sold again a 65 and a 78. So with this, we have the full range that is back in production. I mean, as you know, I like to speak about innovation because I think that at the center of everything there is the product, and the product has to be, we say always that we don't have a revolution, but we have an evolution, and this evolution is coming with a big focus on the innovation of many things around the boat. In the past conference, I spoke about together with the support of my team and the nautical engineers that are working with us. We spoke about what is increasing the sailing plan of the boat, what is the water lines, and but this time I would like to bring to your attention other area of focus that are the functional design to improve the quality of life on board. Because at the end, I mean, if you are just racing, what is important is the performance of the boat. But if you are going to spend a lot of time on the boat, as most of our owners are, then you have to improve the quality on board. And the improvement of the quality on board is not coming out, I mean, without designing it, without working on it, opening brainstorming with people that are expert in this. And this is what we call the functional design. And the other area is the area of sustainability. I mean, at the end, the boat, we speak about to have the hybrid on the boat, electric boat, but it's not only about that. is about how to use the resources that you have when you live on board. And this is what we speak about as sustainability. The functional design, we find, we study a lot on the deck and on the interior. And I was discussing with my teams this morning, if you take a boat of 20 years ago, very difficult to find an attention on these points. And I mean, and they are super nice boats, but it's very difficult to have a beach area. It's very difficult to find area on board where you can have a meeting or getting time to design, to have dining or resting. I mean, and somebody could argue, yes, but the boat is to cross the sea, and the boat is to go from Finland to the Med. But today is not only that. I mean, you have more and more people that are living on the boat and they are working out of the boat. And then you need areas where you can do that. And in the interior is again the same. So climatization, noise control. Noise control, for example, is getting more and more interest. I mean, people are deciding how where to have some area where they can work on board or getting rest on board, looking at the condition of the comfort on board. You cannot imagine, but the 125 I was showing you before, and this we will speak in the future because at the moment we still have, in a way, we open about that boat together with an agreement on the owner step by step, but we will speak in the future. And there is a lot to say about comfort on board on that boat. That is incredible because one thing that is a carbon box stop to cross the ocean with a lower time is not only that. There is also there an incredible study on the quality on board of that boat. And the communication. I mean, if you have to spend more time on the boat, you have to use the boat has to communicate with different toolings with your company and if we go then on the sustainability, we call it the green and blue innovation. Blue because it's on the sea, and here we have the propulsion that is yes hybrid and electric, but there is a lot of study on performance it like wind, because that is at the end is sustainability. I mean, if I increase the time in which I should not turn on the engine, you are doing something that is for the nature, for the environment, is for yourself, and you are doing what is really 100% of sustainable moving. And energy and environment is about production of energy with solar, with hydrogeneration, but is also how to respect the environment. And so we have a lot of, study. And with the owner are also asking more and more about the trash compactor, water making plastic free, because it's not only water making to get a shower, but it's also water making to drink water, and the sewage treatment system. As I said, it has been a year full of activity. And I think that this picture is giving a great signal. I mean, is an evidence of what was going on. And here we have the smaller boat. Here we have the Maxis. Maxis that this year have been not only the new boats, but also refitting of all boats. So altogether, I love to say that for sure we had 120, 98, and 125. Delivered as new boat, but we had also a 95 and a 112 that has been completely refitted at the yard. So at the end there were 5 Maxi launched. And the milestone is so great in our history, but not only in our history, also in the history of Baltic, that together with Baltic we organized an export event because we delivered this year in excess of 200 million of yachts from Finland, from Jakobstad. What we have here on display in Düsseldorf. In Düsseldorf on display we have the 48. Sorry. There is no snow outside. Free time, I said. Okay. but it is good that I didn't say Monaco, that is near. Okay, so 48. We have the 48 where we reached at the moment 45 units sold. So this seems to be really one of the Swan of the early time when we had big numbers, and is getting to be one of that. And this is a 58. I mean, we said that we unveiled the project in January 2020, and we launched the first boat in April this year. So the projects we are working on are already 70 units sold. Then we have the 98 with 4 units sold, and then we have the Swan Shadows that I said before, free on the water and serial production started. Just to recap how the life for one of our owner normally is running. Very often he starts with a charter or sailing a Swan of a friend of him. Then we go to get in touch with our team, and he becomes to be really an owner of a Swan, going through what I call the Swan experience, that is starting with this, the building of the boat, the trip to Finland, and the delivery of the yacht. Then we have the Club Swan. The Club Swan is not only the racing. The Club Swan is a team of owners participating events and keeping in touch, exchanging experiences. We have the company I said before about, that is Swan Global Service, that is taking care of you, your boat, yacht management, and then the brokerage if you come to the point that you want to change your boat. So this is what we call a 360-degree approach to our owner and of the owner to our brand. Club Swan Racing. 2021 is a year with many regatta. I will not go through each of them, but we have the 2 world, as I said before, of the Reading Regatta and the One Design Gentleman River regattas. To now, we have had quite most of these events. We have still 2 One Design events coming, one in September with the Nation Trophy, and then in Palma, and then in October in Saint-Tropez with the World. I mean, this is just we touched base with this, and here you can see that, I mean, each event is scoring between 20 to 50 yachts participating, and there are events for every, as we said before. We promote the Gentleman River that more and more is very professional, but on the other side we have the rendezvous where we have let's say the sort of family and friends sailing their boat and enjoying going on the sea. We have a program that to be like what you have seen here must be planned well in advance to get all the relationship to the different yachting clubs around the world, and also for example we have the Med, but as seen before we have also the North, where we had for the One Design we have the North Stream Regatta, and we had the Turku Swan European Regatta. Good. This is my introduction, and pass the floor to Capasso, Roy.
Thank you very much, Giovanni. Can you give me this?
Sorry.
I don't know how it works, but I will see. So first of all, thank you to be here. I'm very proud to represent the powerboat side of this company that I'm very linked to. Swan Shadow actually was the first boat done with the Nautilus Swan brand. I have to say that I'm very in love with that boat. The boat is keeping the DNA and the value of the company, starting from the design, the style, the performance, and the sustainability of the company. We will talk about all of them, the design starting from different layout because the boat is a total flash deck boat starting from the bow to the stern, has not fixed element, no step, so there are several different layouts that can be exchanged by them, starting from the sport version with a short top, you have a long top version that is a pleasure. And then we have a new entry that is the limo version. Actually, it's a very important feature of the boat because make the boat as a water taxi of the Venice. And then we have a more extreme version that is the fisherman one. The performance, of course, are driven all the development and the design of the boat, and we will reserve a moment later on that subject. That are some shots of the boat. So going back to the deck, the boat is a real walk around. As already said, we have a bolt-on system that allow people to change from a layout to another layout without a fixed element. The 3 outboard engine guarantee the performance, but the most important part is the platform that actually can be a swimming ladder, can be a platform, of course, and even a passerelle. Going to the interior, actually, the boat has just one suite. The boat, of course, is a day cruiser, but with the opportunity of having a real cabin inside with a separate bathroom, but we can have even the option to have a second crew quarter at the bow of the boat. Going back to the layout, you can see the different layout here, even in the plan of the boat. The different layouts are almost exchangeable by them. Of course, the only fixed one is the limo version that, of course, is not retrofittable to the other version. Going back to the performance, that is one of the main characteristics of the boat. Is linked to the sustainability of the company because we developed this double step pedal that gets a very high efficiency, getting a very high performance up to 50 knots, but moreover it is important the consumption because it's a boat that an average speed of 30 knots has a consumption of 4 liters per mile, so 120 per hour. There are let's say the summary of the main data of the boat. The boat is over 30 meters, but it's very beamy. And we have different configuration, but even different motorization going from 250 horsepower to 350. We keep, of course, the beauty line of Swan, that is our trademark, and that are some images of the boat. Thank you. Vale. It's up to you.
Okay, good afternoon to everybody. This is just to remember to everybody that every Swan yacht, which is the core business of the company, it's never a super revolution, but it's always an evolution. We come from 55 years of experience with the same people and almost with the same designer, because we can say that Herman Fred, which is here with us today, was also part of Sparkman Stevens studio. So we can say that from the first boat to today, we have an evolution step by step made by the same people. An evolution who brings a lot of fantastic experience. So every boat is better than the other one. Very quickly, the features, why this boat has been designed, of course, to be a pure beauty, an outstanding and iconic boat to follow tradition, classic proportion and purposes, fully cruiser with no compromise, but capable to win top-level races, a real and traditional Swan. So, of course, we have the club racing, the Club Swan, which are pure racer in a way, but all the Swans are able to win top-level races, also because the rules love very much the way Herman designed the boat. So even if they are fully cruiser, they win very important races. Sturdy, reliable, and durable construction, like every time on a Swan, easy to manage and handle, problem-free. This is coming more and more, especially in all the boats below 60. We try to design boats that are not just easy to be handled, but also to be maintained. Exclusive interior layout with several different proposals. This is also very important for us. We try to offer as much as possible possibility for a customer to personalize the boat, as also to avoid kind of customization, which are killing the quality of a boat. So we have so many proposals that everybody can find what he's looking for. Moods concept with interior style, this goes together with that, so you can find your own environment into the boat. Optional philosophy, numerous proposals for layout style, and rich optional list. This is also a value for the boat, how much option you can offer. You remember when we introduced the 48, then we introduced the 58 to show the continuity of the family, but also the beauty of the line of a 58. And this is what we are showing you today. Again, a boat, very nice, slim boat, elegant boat, low freeboard. We try to keep elegance and beauty as much as possible, a high value on our boats. So this is the boat, and the boat, is an evolution. So like all the evolution has some novelties that we will show now. So the main details, let's say these are just details. Of course, novelties are also about the main feature, but the details, we have a bowsprit, new position, coach of windows, new shape, coaming, new shape, and an exclusive swimming platform. Starting from the bowsprit, Herman proposed this new position, which is very interesting for us. It gives you, the first, let's say, evident advantage is that you can keep the line of the bow and of the shear line as it is originally without affecting this. And this is very important because the hull shape of Herman design boat are so beautiful that the most you try not to interfere with that. But also some practical reason, because with this position, the anchor is lower, so you have less possibility to hit when you are lifting the anchor up. But also, you have a lower position for the sail area of the asymmetric spinnaker, so you gain something. And this is something typical you find also in the racing boat today, TP52, they have this kind of position. The second one is the shape of the coach of window. This also to enhance the light inside. It's not that easy to get these shapes because then you have to find inside where to put, but it's kind of new for a Swan to have such long windows, and these allow us to have also different way of putting the stripes, even not having any stripe. This is also something very interesting. We already had this kind of solution in the past, but not with this new coach roof line, so that let's say the coamings are a little bit wider here, so it gives you a sporty, shape of it. But the big advantage is that you can enhance the width of the cockpit so far that today the size of this cockpit is almost the same of a 58 in terms of beam of width. And then this, which is a super exclusive, and I have to say, the inspiration of this, like many times, is coming from Leonardo, which is sailing on maxi yachts. So he was always trying to bring also in the small boats what in a maxi yacht is important, which is the beach area. The beach area is an exclusivity of big yachts today, but it's very much important for every boat to have a comfortable beach area, which means many things, not only the size. So having this idea to open part of the coach roof, being part of the platform, gives you a huge dimension of the platform, because you don't only use this, but you only use this part, which is part of the tank carriage. But also allow you to have this in a higher position, and all of you that has experienced this platform, when they are very low in the water, they are absolutely impossible to use. Every time you have to lift them up. So if you can enhance the opening here for the tender, then you're allowed to put this a little bit higher, and gives you a good size, not to slam all the time when you are at the end. So these are, let's say, kind of highlights for the new stuff. But the boat, as we know, is an evolution. So like all the new Swan are part of this new generation of hull designed by Herman. But with this specific model, and also the two Maxes we are developing, Herman introduced some new tools, some new technology to further study and go deeper in the shape of the hull. So what we would like to know from you, Herman, is how this new technology and tools influence the hull like this, and how much is still in your fantasy while designing the boat. I mean, we know that nowadays everybody's using computer, so computer can in a way put a flat in a design, but this is not your case. So.
Good afternoon, everybody. You're probably tired of seeing me here over the years, but I have to say that these new tools that have been developed not by us, by the aircraft industry and naval industry, the developments on fluid dynamics have made this this profession so much more exciting than they were years ago. Because now we can investigate the behavior, the performance, make much more accurate predictions. And with this drone, which has no color, is a sample of the things we are doing, we're measuring. In this case, here we are measuring the relative velocity of the cells of water, with the idea that in order to reduce resistance, the best thing, and it's been proven, is to have a uniform speed alongside the hull. So you can see here the blue color, which is fairly low speed, is constant along the hull. The difference are on the high lift areas where the speed is higher due to produce lift, rather than the keel. But not to bore you with these explanations, it means that we can optimize the shape of a given with a given volume and attain better performance, better balance, and better boats all around. Thank you.
Okay, yes, this of course is the theory, but then is the maestro hands that always design and put all the good stuff on the boat. So going on with the boat itself, as always, we try to offer as much as possible flexibility for the keels, because we really sell around the world, and in every part of the world there is a new, different necessity. Like for example, this long keel with the bulb here also is a shallow draft, but also allow you not to hit in the nets and in everything else you can find in the United States or in some of the Asia Pacific areas. This is also, of course, a theoretical image which show you a very important feature of the new hulls of Herman, which is the behavior when the boat is heeling, which is very symmetric, very long dynamic, let's say, waterline, and also slim in the water. So this gives you the idea that the boat is, let's say, optimized to sail at 20 degrees, which is a very comfortable angle. I mean, you can imagine, you can still use the whole boat. And this makes a big difference with the boat of some years ago. The sail plan, like all the new sail plan from this new design, the mast is very well placed in the aft, so you have a very long J. The J is almost long as P of the boom side, and so you have space to put up to 4 stays here, including a proper stay sail that can be used in heavy weather. we offer another possibility with a little bit more performing mast, which normally goes together with the option of the carbon mast, and a racing bowsprit, which has a longer crane here, so you can have a semi-square mainsail, which means that it's the same mast for cruising racing. You don't have to change the backstays, but you have a little bit more sail area. Okay. The deck, we already started saying about the big, let's say, platform, which is a new thing. For the rest, it's very similar to what we have seen in other boats. The deck is very similar to the 58, so you have the option to have a self-decking here, which can be used mainly for the staysail, but also for the jib. A very wide cockpit here with double table. We will show later what does it need. Then 5 electric winches standard, so you have a very easy access to the winches you use, so you can really handle the boat alone. And here you can see the different position for this table called transformers. Also, these come from the Maxi world, because of course in a 115 you can play with that, but then to play with the same concept on a 55 is a completely another story. And so this is the sunbathing position with the same tables, and these tables are standard on the boat. Then you have, these are the dining normal, this is the dining extra large, so you can have extra chairs around and sit up to 10 people. These are the sunbathing, and this is the poof position, which is again inspired by Soleone. It's a very popular position on Soleone, which means that you can put down, have a cushion, and relax around. You can put a tray here with your drinks and have a fantastico aperitivo, still walking around the whole stuff. These are the same views from another position. Talking about the interiors, here is another area where we have a very new exclusive layout. I can say that on a boat of this size, we are the only one offering this layout. And this is one of the reasons why this boat is different from the 48 and from the 58. The concept is to have a proper cabin, which is completely dedicated to storage as a standard, and as an option can become a proper crew cabin. So far that in some cases you can have an optional entrance from the cockpit directly. This is because many customers of this size of boat, they want to have a crew, but the boat is not that big, so you have to keep the crew as much as possible away from the rest of the boat, and as much as possible independent. At the same time, you have the main cabin here with a huge head, a VIP cabin here, which is, I would say, even bigger than the 58 because the bulkhead here is not in the middle, and another guest cabin here, which offer many possibilities of personalization. When I say personalization, I mean that, as you can see, we play a lot with the layout. We can offer 2 separate beds here. We can offer a 3rd head here with a shower sharing with the 2 heads. In this cabin, we can offer a solution with Pullman berth. For the char navigation station area, we have several possibilities, up to 4 different possibilities, including this with armchairs. So armchairs very comfortable, then you remove these parts and you use as a chart table. And this, as I was mentioning, is the full crew cabin with a WC here, a sink here, and all the space for the appliances like generator or washer dryer, whatever. The galley is always a sea-going galley, so you can easily use while you are sailing. This goes together with what our beloved Nisa Poggi is doing with us, which is the concept of the moods. So Nisa selected best, let's say, looking and quality material to play around with this mood. So you have the Swan sole, which is the wood, the basic wood is the oak, natural oak. The Scan division, where the oak is whitened, and the Blue Genoa, which is a new mood introduced for this boat, which is with the dark oak, all together with this kind of fabrics and leather, etc. Then, of course, you can mix up this stuff, which means that it's like the Mini, the new Mini made from BMW. There are millions of combinations, and it can be that your boat will be the only one made in this way, still with something that we offer directly. And Nisa, she's very good in making this kind of sketch, so we work a lot with this, still in the traditional way. There is also a new feature in the interior we will show you also from the website or in the brochure, which is a white panel with vertical, which is giving a more fresh touch to the interior. So it's an extra think you can select for the interior finishes. So we really have thousands of combinations. As always, we build the boat as sturdy as possible, and we try to keep the weight as much as possible, low, which means many other situations which are technical, like the position of the chain, which is much further aft if you compare with other boats, but also all the tanks which are concentrated in the middle of the boat. These are the main sides of the boat. As you can see also, this is a blue water, so we have a good fuel and water tankage, so you are independent for a lot of time, and you don't have to go back to the marinas. These are some views of the boat sailing. You see it's a very powerful boat, so it's going to be a very, very fun boat to sail for many years. And this is all about the 55. So, I don't know if you, Giovanni, want to say bye or something to our people here, or Leonardo.
Okay, thank you very much.
Maybe you can ask some questions. Some questions.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, because I think that is more and more interesting if you set question to the team of NATO here, then to go ahead to tell a story to you, but I don't know if matching your curiosity.
There is one thing that I didn't mention, sorry. Not to mention that the 54, which is a classic boat for us, is still in the range. So this boat is not in place of the 54. The 54 has still a market, and the last one has been sold 2 weeks ago. So we are proud to say that we are still selling the 54 because it's a very classic boat, and many people still like that kind of lines.
How's the pricing between the 48, the 55, and 58? They're quite.
Is the 58 right in the middle, let's say? We say that the 48 is in the region of 900, this is in the region of 1.49, and the 58 is 1.98. So it's just there in the middle, and it's typical. You have the typical market there who is willing for this kind of price and above.
Any other question?
Have you sold any of the prizes?
Yes, 3 units. This is great for us. I mean, it's incredible how we can sell boats on paper, and of course the brand make that big, but also the fresh design is so well accepted and so beloved that it's easy to sell the boats when we present a new model, and this also helps the company to be,
When is the launch of the first one?
Well, it's going to be in spring of next year. Exactly when, we don't know where, but it's going to be probably in Spain for the first day. Because, with this base we have in Spain, it's very good because we have a technical team, very experienced, and we can deliver boats there all over the year, while in Finland, that in winter is not possible. So it's a great place to have that one.
I mean, we are going to repeat what we have done with the 58,
With the 58.
that is to launch in early spring and collect experiences that we can dramatically transfer to the yard for the production of the next ones, so we don't have to wait until May.
Exactly. Same. Great.
Do you see Swan expanding the Swan Shadow range into larger vessels?
I guess we can say.
Leonardo, please.
Well, it's up for surprise, I think. We're very much concentrated in creating this as a serial yacht, and we're working very deeply on that. It was like something that we had at heart, bringing out the first prototype, something that we really were committed to do in creating something that was different from everything else. It was maybe inspired from other things that are on the market, but they want to be better than anyone else. And I think the reaction that we're getting from what we delivered is so good that I guess it's going to be difficult to keep us not developing further the line. If there are not any other questions, are there any other question? As I got hold of the microphone, I'm not going to leave it so quickly. But basically, I have something at heart to mention, And while looking at all of this that is happening and has happened in Outer Swan, there are few people that I have to thank. First of all of you, many of you, which have been following what Nautor has done this year, and there is nothing better than for a company that is delivering and wants to deliver so much to have people that are professional, understand what we're doing, and transfer it to a wide crowd in the best efficient way. So a big thank you to all of you for all that you've done in so many years, and hopefully you will be continuing to do in the future. This cooperation is amazing. I'd like to also thank Misa Poggi. Misa Poggi is delivering something that for quite a number of years we had, again, as an objective in Swan. And I remember the time when I entered the company, and we had our people, great technician, but sometimes going in front of a customer with a blank piece of paper and asking them to design the interiors, the colors, the style, bringing architects from all the different places. No, that was not right. We needed to give a direction that was going to enhance the fact that Swan is not a yard, wasn't as it was, but it is a brand, and therefore delivering a very strong point of view. And I have to say that finding Misa, which found in another scenario, and starting to think about boats, and finding somebody that is so strong in delivering style, but in a creative, quality way, was not a given. And I'm very proud of the work we're doing together. And if now Swan is a complete project, delivering a very clear point of view, it is also to the great cooperation we have created, and thank you, Misa, for following us so carefully.
Thank you, Bernard. Thank you, Marco.
And last but not at all least, when we're watching the evolution of the Swan yachts in the last almost 40 years, if there is a person that can always deliver coherence, but with a great, always forward-looking into the future, new technique, new technology, and combining, as I believe no one else can do in the world, performance and elegance. This is Herman Frers, with whom we are so proud of having worked for quite a few decades. And thank you for being here with us today. And the last, thanks to all the Nautor team. We have accepted the few that are present here. The rest, I promise, is an amazing team. And the Nautor, and I think there is something lovely which we treasure in Nautor, il senso di appartenenza. It's a sense of belonging to Swan. And so you join professionality and visions, skills, but you're proud of delivering this to Nautor. So thank you to all the Nautor team for all the great work that they are delivering to the world. And thanks again to all of you.